Welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. And greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, and sincerely greetings and blessings, excuse me, to all of you who've already stopped by, said hello, and to those who may stroll in as we keep going, blessings and greetings to everyone. I am excited again today. For those who have been part of this Talcottian adventure, each day it seems I'm learning new things about myself and this world we're living in. And yesterday was kind of enlightening for me. For those who tuned in and checked it out, we had some interesting conversations, and well, things are continuing. So let's jump right into where today is. Happy Wednesday, sincerely to everyone. Today, let your motivation be louder than your doubts, your actions stronger than your fears, and your determination brighter than any challenges in your path. I mean, because seriously, life is short. We don't need to be wasting time with self-doubt and low self-worth. These are the things I'm going to get into a little bit later. Share some lessons I've been learning in my own experience and some things I've picked up from others along the way. My offerings with this idea too is motivation, actions, and determination, right? Those are the things we're talking about. They are the key components of success or failures. Your motivation, your actions, your determinations, those will determine if you succeed or fail. Simple as that. So the way to know is through honest evaluation of the inner thoughts behind your motivation, your actions, your determination. An honest evaluation of those things will bring clarity to the patterns and the emotions driving your results. So I've done some soul searching and I've been looking into myself, and things are growing and developing, and I really am. I'm excited for the future, where our future may bring humanity. The Talcottian adventure I'm living, holy cows. I cannot believe that this is where my life has brought me to. Sincerely. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I'd be sitting in front of a camera talking to people I really don't know about, like, love and God and, self-development, stuff like that. The topic today, what I've truly found for myself and what it's consistently in my message, truth above all. When we become more honest, that's when our self-worth really starts to grow. But we were born into a world where prideful arrogance and insecurities, those are the norms, right? We live in a world of competition and battles and espionage and manipulation, and nobody knows what's real because people don't trust. Trust has been lost within a lot of people. Why? Because they're on it. Their inner conscience is a true judge, and we project our insecurities onto each other. It's just a psychological pattern, the way we're designed. My self-worth started growing the more humble I became to the truth. Some of the inspirations I came across between last night and today, I watched a couple of presentations on the Bible and the prophecy, the book of Revelation, trying to connect dots. What's going on here at this time? Well, the reality is we are all a part of God's story. Simple as that. God's story is history. Man just interprets history, records it, remembers it, hopefully learns from history, but this is God's story that's being revealed through us. And the prophecies of old times, I tell you what, my goals, the goals that I'm inviting you to join me with, these are inspired by by the Bible. A world of peace, a world of love. See, the prophecies I was watching earlier, it showed some connections between the Tower of Babel, some of the other references to Babylon, and the Babylon that was described in the prophecy. Well, the patterns of Babylon are like idol worship, greed, selfishness, kind of immorality. Hello. Idol worship in America? Nothing tops the almighty dollar, right? The almighty dollar and the authority that everyone's complaining about. This is Babylon we're living in, brothers and sisters. So let's set ourselves free. Let's set ourselves free from the past. Because what America has become, the standards have dropped so low for people. And I'm guilty. I was guilty of this most of my life. But when I started becoming more honest, when I committed myself, no excuses, no blame, nothing but the truth matters. When I started doing that, I found an inner strength and an inner peace within myself that I didn't know was possible. And from that inner strength and that inner peace that I didn't know was possible, I found joys and pleasures in life. Holy cows, man. Holy cows. I want you to feel as good as I feel. America has become, because of the lower standards, we've dropped the standards so low that Joe Biden and Donald Trump are still being, holy cows. America is not the land of the free. That's an illusion. It's free for those with money. I mean, yeah, they've got so much money, it doesn't really cost them anything. They just pay their way out of jail sentences and criminal convictions, and people pay their way out of everything in the land of corruption. So America has not so much become the land of the free, which I thought I served as a kid when I raised my hand and prepared myself to die for this land. The truth was right in front of my eyes. The freedom we have in America is the freedom to choose sin. It's the same freedom God gave us. Let's stop choosing sin. I mean, the whole message of the gospel and the message of the Christ, the gift that God gave mankind through Jesus, through the Christ, the purpose of his life and the teachings and the crucifixion and resurrection, the entire story, his purpose was to lead you and me, to show us the way how to lead ourselves out of the sins of self-destruction that come with dishonesty, that come with unforgiveness, that come from a lack of compassion, a lack of faith. We save ourselves from the misery of self-destruction when we surrender our egoic ways. See, the egoic ways are the prideful, the dishonest, the manipulative, the fearful. If you really, really go within yourself, right? Kind of the practice I clumsily offered the other day, but the practice of dropping in to yourself, detaching away, becoming one with your breath, the breath of life here in the present moment. If you practice that more often, it gives you it brings your body, your mind, your heart, your nervous system into a state of peace where you can objectively review facts and information. You can move beyond your judgment, move beyond your opinions. No, I just glanced at the chat. No, it's just kind of blending in, I think. I got a gray t-shirt today, or whatever, tank top. So some of the ideas I had today is growing your self-worth with honesty. As you commit yourself to becoming more honest, what I found for myself was I found a lot less justification to continue arguments. I found a lot, even though the pattern, I know what it looks like here, the past patterns here, but I have been finding a lot less reasons, excuses to want to argue, to want to fight, to want to be angry, to want to be afraid. I gave that up. I'm giving it up. Another reminder I had today, and these are tied together because the whole aspect of our life, there's no separation from all of us. There's no separation from you and me. That's what I'm referring to. All of us who are gathered here. And there's no separation from the people in Congress and DC. There's no separation from people like Netanyahu and Putin. And there's no separation from those starving, fearful, the pain, the children and women and the fathers, mothers, children who are crying out in fear, in anger, in pain. There's no separation from any of us. But again, what gives me peace inside is the reminder that this is God's story. And this was a reminder I received earlier, right? The true miracle of life is the miracle of love. It's through the miracle of love that we learn the truth. I mean, it's all tied together, truth and love and life. There's no separation from those things except within our mind. So I've mentioned some of the inspirations I receive, and what I truly know is love is the miracle that we all seek. And miracles are seen in light. Light and strength are one. See, God offers forth the light. God is the light through which we see, not only conceptually in our minds, but in the energetic realm that we physically experience too. So light and strength are one. I see through strength, the gift of God to me, strength within me, the strength within you. It's the gift from God to me, to you. My weakness is the dark. His gift dispels, right? When we feel this darkness within us, the light of God can be found, and that light will overcome the dark. And it gives us his strength to take our place. We're here to choose, brothers and sisters. Every day we get to choose. Are we going to serve the light of truth, the light of love, the light of growth, the light of love? Or are we going to serve the darkness? Or are we going to pretend that neither one exists and we'll just go back and forth, living our life, light and dark? Hey, the other reminder that does tie into this was the concepts from Tesla. And this ties to the biblical scriptures as well. But the science shows what Tesla was saying true. And here, my experience too, when I started really bringing these ideas into me, if you want to understand life, think of energy, vibrations, and frequency. Energy, frequency, and vibrations. That's what makes up the entire reality. Energy, frequency, and vibrations. You are a collection, you're an energy source. Every one of us are. And the energies that move us, The energies that move us are ideas and emotions, thoughts and feelings. So if our thoughts and our feelings aren't understood, we run around like we're all crazy, right? Wanting to fight innocent people, want to put others down, wanting to hurt each other. When I started thinking more about energy, frequency, and vibrations, I also looked at it more as personalities too, right? Every one of us carries a different energy, a different personality. We're all slightly different, but you bring the right personalities together, and those energies will harmonize and create a strength that just can't be beat. There's a synergy when energies come together and harmonize, creating a greater strength, a greater power. It's through the harmonization and the distortions of energy that we have this entire realm, the universe that we experience. And some of the scientific discoveries that are out there today, I mean, there is so many amazing innovations, technologies, wisdom, sciences, so much to be shared and learned in this day and time today. One of the things I was looking at was an old observation on how cymatics, the vibration of sound, creates into form patterns. If this realm that we're sharing is truly energy, frequency, and vibrations, well, in line with the scripture, in line with many of the science, it really looks like sound, magnetism, and electricity, right? There's discoveries between light and sound, but these frequencies right now alive, there's other people like us who are studying this stuff, right? They've devoted their lives, and that's what they're dedicating their life force energy into, is studying things that we don't necessarily know as we go along with our day-to-day jobs, our family affairs, our budgets, and all this other stuff. When we become honest, we discover actually how little we might know. And honestly, that is where I found my freedom, where I truly found my joy, where I humbled myself to the fact I don't know what God's plans are. All I know is that I'm here, I'm alive. I have shelter, I have food, I have health and comfort. I need nothing. I have it all to share. And, with that sharing, I'm going to go ahead. We haven't gone too long. I'm curious to see what the day may bring. My interest in entertaining the trolls, for those of you who have been around and joining, I appreciate your patience. I'm really going to, whoops, I'd really like to change. My hope and prayer is to share some inspiration, to share some joy with you, whether you're here with me right now or if you're joining in later. Um, I really hope for you to receive a little peace, a little joy, a little inspiration within you on what the future might bring for you, simply by challenging your own opinions. Where was that? I wrote it down somewhere recent. I don't remember what it was, but there's so much time we spend, it seems, arguing and fighting over opinions. But really, the best idea I've found for myself is to challenge my own opinions. Really, really go within to question and press what is true. What is demonstrable, what can be demonstrated, what is provable, what can be shown, what is logical, what is reasonable. The more I started asking myself to answer those questions, um, the more I realized I didn't have excuses. I didn't have excuses to be afraid. I didn't have excuses to be angry. I didn't have excuses to be upset. I'm going to take a chance, possibly against my better judgment, but no, you know what? You can change your name, first of all, Stephen. Your disrespect, it's unwarranted, it's unhelpful, and it's unhealthy. Okay. So, Stephen, I saw your little childish games. You're welcome to join me, Stephen. The sanity machine or whatever his name is in the back. Um, he's welcome to join, but I'd prefer you change your image too, Stephen.
Okay, give me a second. Give me a second here. I'll change it to someone handsome. Here we go.
Fair enough.
There.
Thank you.
That's me. Hello, Jack.
Hello,
Hello.
Stephen. How can I help you?
You seem very angry lately. You seem very angry, not just with me, but for days here. You've seemed very angry and very short with people. You've been kicking them off the show,
Hmm.
putting them to the back, and just I don't know. I think that you should really practice what you preach when it comes to patience and
Hmm.
loving others and being forgiving
Really?
and living in the moment.
Well, where's the line between enabling bad behavior, disruptive behavior? Where's your line between enabling and boundaries? Because I've actually explained myself. I won't deny there you could make a case that anger was shown by me, but you could also make the case that frustration, considering I said repeatedly, I don't know what to do with you people. I don't know what to do with you guys. Why are you here?
Mm.
But does that, I mean, does that make a little more sense, or you just,
No, I said why I was here yesterday to give you another chance to help you out.
mhm,
You kicked me off
right?
immediately.
Well,
Immediately.
please let's go back to my question. Where's your line regarding enabling, trying to help others see what they're doing?
My
Is there
line, I
any
try to
place
help
for that?
others every day. I give people a chance on my show. I
Hmm.
backstage you within 3 seconds, you ran away on my channel. You
Right.
really don't demonstrate the patience that I've demonstrated here on your show.
Well,
So I don't
okay.
think you're as thick
Hey,
skinned as
Stephen,
I am.
I know. Well, see, the difference is you don't care. I do.
What are you talking
So,
about? I don't care about who or what. Be
oh, you
specific.
don't care about anyone but yourself. It's pretty
Oh,
clear.
what?
The vile streams you did,
A
dude, you know
vile
what?
stream.
You are such a manipulating, gaslighting clown, Stephen. You can go ahead and leave. You're offering me falsities and nothing of value.
Hey,
How's welcome?
hey, I've got nothing negative to add or whatever,
Beautiful.
But I don't really know what you were talking about. I did see that, people talk stuff all the time or whatever. If that's what you're talking about, I saw what you were saying. But people talk, right? The sheep say bat.
Yeah. People are fascinating, truly fascinating. Hey, I want to, sorry to ignore you for just a moment, but for those of you in the chat, sincere, or the mods and such, our poll, I don't mean to name names, but many of you, thank you. I truly appreciate the support that you've been offering. And I think people like I just blocked Tarek. He can go find somewhere else to complain. And I think I blocked Paul as well. So I think
Hmm.
it's time to start cleaning up.
Hmm. Well, Tark does look like Mr. Clean.
Um, yeah, I'm not so worried about appearances. I'm more concerned about behavior. And for whatever
I understand.
reason, thank you. For whatever reason, I won't place blame, but I know that there has been a lot of gossip about me. A lot of panels like to talk about Jack and say all sorts of horrible, mean things about me. And
For sure.
I don't understand why. And the other side, this is also why I feel like cleaning it up because when I review, I pay more attention to the chat. And some of you guys are amazing. The support and the respect, the love I feel, I see. It's genuine and I truly do appreciate it. It's the others. It's the other ones that I'm trying to figure out.
Well, there's no, it's like it doesn't happen for no reason. I feel like, nothing is out.
Well, I realize that this
Yeah,
is there's a divine process that brings everyone together.
yeah,
And it's our job when we join together.
going right.
Shouldn't we be trying to figure out what is the divine purpose of our time together?
Oh, I think so. But like you said, these people get together, and with a false version of divine purpose, and then they start like talking a whole bunch of crap on you, like you said, like that is their divine purpose because of their low levels of respect. I'm not trying to judge either. It's just like, you know,
Well,
but
and this is why I've been asking people to please answer and explain what is their intention for joining. I know my intention for being here is to discuss life, God, love, ending wars, right? Those are
yeah,
big, broad topics, and they include a lot of things.
they do.
But this gossiping and arguing,
So why do they
it's
join?
juvenile.
Why do they join to do that? I mean, let's start from a let's start thinking from their position. Okay, let's just
Well,
yeah.
actually, I appreciate that, but at this point, I understand they're
Self.
arrogant
Were you gonna
and
say selfish?
prideful
Because
and selfish.
I was thinking selfish is what they're thinking,
You're right. Those go together.
and then
Selfish.
also yeah, and they also like they have like kind of like false idols and stuff. So then, uh, I don't know how that plays in, but they're just selfish for like for petty reasons
Right? I'm very well aware of that.
for sure.
I'm trying to
I just
trying to get people to
I want to make sure I'm not crazy too, though, and making sure other people see it as well. You know, like if I can voice that this is what I see, and other people are like, yes, that is actually what I see too, confirms. So if you're asking why do these people say these negative things about you, it's because we're biased, and it probably has to do with what tribal type mentality of lower material gain. Sorry if you look kind of annoyed. I don't know. I should shut up or if you're agreeing with me.
No, I'd prefer you shut up, to be honest.
Okay. Glad I asked.
Well, I've pointed it out to you before, my friend. I've asked you before, what are you doing here? I mean, if you're here to support me, then I'd appreciate it if you don't interrupt me every time I try to speak.
Not a problem.
And I'm not looking for other people's opinions on other people. I'm looking for people who want to join this panel to discuss the topics I'm discussing that I want to discuss, which is grow self-worth with honesty,
Sure.
which is let's talk about God, let's talk about ending wars.
All right. I apologize for going overboard. And the last thing that we did agree on was that what they were doing was for selfish reasons. So I was just trying to expound on that, and I overdid it.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you. Um, the selfishness, I mean, we really exist in duality. The only way to escape duality is to overcome it, to move beyond the polarities of things. But in the forces of creation, there is the creation of good. God creates, and it is good. And the world is good, and people are good. And then through the free will, the choice, the opposing forces that are built into the universal energies, right? The proton, electron, the balance of light and dark. What is good is created, but the oppositional force, the analyzer, the divider, the judger, the accuser, that's become the American way. Something I learned a long time ago, God, the good, it creates. The evil, the oppositional forces, it has no power to create. It has the power to manipulate, to distort. So the oppositional forces that exist can only distort the truth. We have the ability within us. We've got godlike powers. We have the heart of God within us. Through our spirit, we have connections to consciousness and intelligence and records and information that is far, far beyond the scope of an individual. And that's far beyond maybe even explanation. Because have you heard, Brown's boy, have you heard of the Akashic record? Things
Oh
like that?
yeah, I've heard.
Well, so if you take that concept, it's a it's a like a library. It's the eternal records of information that are available. Human beings, we do have the godlike power to discern between good and evil. But the problem is the world we were born into rewards selfishness. And selfishness in this money-driven world where everyone's worshiping false idol, selfishness has been enabled. The enabling has created billionaires. The billionaires have taken over the governments, the corporations. So I guess what I'm really trying to do with people when they join and they're all rude and arrogant, I'm trying to get them to see their selfishness. I mean, honestly, well, that's what transformed my life. When I started overcoming when I admitted my selfishness, I didn't want to believe I was selfish because I was giving money to charities every paycheck, and I was very generous serving the union, and I was very generous with anyone. But I didn't realize I was selfish, holding on to my old fears, holding on to my limited self-worth. To grow self-worth, not just be honest about yourself and your ideas, your fears and your feelings. To grow in self-worth, it's not just about being honest, but it's about making honest efforts. Honest efforts are the way to grow in your self-worth. You don't have to succeed, but you've got to give yourself permission to try. If you don't try, you won't learn. And if you don't learn, you're not growing. And if you're not growing, you're just surviving. And if you're just surviving here in this hell realm, you might get fooled into voting for people, supporting people that don't have your best interest in them in mind. What I do know, what I do know, Grace, I think that is true. Good-hearted people often do evil things out of confusion and selfishness, fear and anger. Evil people can do good things as well. This is the polarity. This is the duality we live in. It's so mysterious and beautiful. But the way to escape, I found, it sounds illogical, but I'm finding this practice is helpful for myself, despite some of the engagements I've found myself with. Surrender. Surrender your battle to God. Surrender your worries to God. God is the beyond you. If we surrender to what is beyond us, then we can find a strength within ourselves to keep going. Welcome back.
Hey,
Here, seriously, Ray, I won't disagree. This is a yes and, okay? We are selfish until we're not. And sometimes being selfish is healthy if it's done with the right intentions, with the right motivation. And if the selfish actions are really for the greatest good, right? It's our motivation, our actions, and the intention, the determination, what it is that is moving us. I think that's what I'm trying to say. If we want to be selfish, I heard this from a mystic. If you want to be selfish, be truly selfish. Align yourself with God. You can't be defeated if you're aligned with God. And God is the truth. The truth stands on its own. Truth doesn't need to be fought. It just must be presented, must be must be presented, explained. And on the other side, the truth must simply be accepted. We all have the option of determining what is true for me. If we're not honest, we're going to believe in lies. And the world has been believing in lies since long, long, long before any of us were born. So we, you, me, everyone we know, we live today. And we have the option today to overcome the lies and to help each other overcome the lies. One of the biggest lies that can be overcome and that we can help each other overcome is the lies of pride, arrogance, selfishness. That's honestly what I've been seeking support with, is for someone to stand with me to help me confront pride, arrogance, and selfishness, not just with many of the panel visitors, but with other people who have chosen to engage with me in my life. And then let's unite together if we're honest. If we're honest, and we accept there's no reason for wars to continue. For those who wish to support the efforts of world peace or to connect with me for direct support, conversations, explore the links in the description, feel free to reach out to me. Because if we unite together, we can work together to help the structures and the people employed in the structures of government and corporation. We can help them wake up to the billionaire class, these ruling class. We can help them wake up to the fact that their prideful arrogance and selfishness, it's affecting the rest of the world. You have thoughts on that, Browns boy?
The only thing that comes to mind is like usually to change somebody's mind or something. Like I don't really think about it a lot, but I understand that if you hit them in the pocket, once you start hitting people in pockets, people start, perking up their posture a little bit. So that's what I have gathered. That's my initial.
Okay. And so do you have any way to apply that idea? Is there any application to that thought?
I believe that there may be many inventive ways or creative ways to think about it, but I haven't written anything down yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Because it was like, go ahead, my bad.
Well, my first inclination, I've been thinking about this a lot. Several years, as a matter of fact. I mean, many years, but specifically every single day since about 2018, I've been focused on this. Okay, so what you described, I don't deny. Yep, in a selfish world, the only way to get people's attention is through the pocketbook. I'm suggesting that we rise above the old ways. We actually do what I'm suggesting, and we help each other communicate with each other.
Yeah,
Hey.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I just think that people communicate differently, like you with words, with but those other, like I don't know what like a psycho how they communicate really, like other than other than the, other than wallets, man. That's all that would be my guess.
All right, repeating it doesn't help because again, you're not even addressing what I'm saying. Hey Chuck, maybe that's your experience. I cannot fix anyone but me. Learned that the hard way. I'm sure you have. Did you happen to study? Do you know that other people do help other people? There's a lot of coaches, a lot of healing modalities. Have you actually tried looking into what others are doing to help others fix themselves? Or did you learn some lessons of how to fix yourself that you're sharing? I don't know. Can we vote who out? I'm not sure who you're talking about. Oh. You really haven't been listening to anything I've said. I don't know how to communicate what I'm saying any better. Right, Nude Guru. You can only help those willing to help themselves. What's curious about that, though, in a selfish world, everyone tells themselves they're helping themselves. People tell themselves they're helping others. I am seeking, does anyone want to help themselves to a better life? And does anyone want some help from a man like me? I claim to know how to help people help themselves. But hey, welcome, brother. Good to see you too.
What's going on, Jack? What's going on, 23?
What's up, brother?
Mm. Big up, big up. I thought I'd come and say hello since you're live.
I appreciate it, my friend. I'm still looking for ways to grow, ways to change my life and change the world we live in. Do you guys have any ideas?
Changing the world we live in. Is that what I heard you say?
Well, I'm trying to change my life, trying to make a better world for all of us. Any
Okay.
ideas?
Changing your life. Well, it depends what you think needs changing in your life, Jack. I mean,
Oh, I've said that. I have no actual relationships with people. I get very few people who actually reach out to me and say, Jack, how are you doing? You want to talk about anything? How are you feeling, Jack? You doing all right?
mhm.
Yeah, it hasn't happened for like a whole number of years. Maybe in very rare occasions it has, but and today I'm focused on trying to change my life. It's no secret that I'm still trying to reunite with my family, my son. Today's his mother's birthday, my ex-wife.
Okay.
So I'm sure he's probably communicating with her, but neither of them choose to want to communicate with me. So I'm I'm really trying to figure out what to do.
I mean, I got one thing, and this is like not super personal, but I have used it and it has worked for me. And all it is you just like if you feel like you have to maybe forgive someone for something, you literally just say it out loud. Like you say, like, I forgive this person. And you just kind of do that a couple times a day and stuff. Dude, I don't know how it works, but it does work. Like it does help. Like I've even forgiven people and they've even called me like 3 days later. Like from like a year ago.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not the one who's lacking forgiveness. Um, and I've been praying quite a while for anything. So I agree with what you said. No disagreements. Welcome, Chuck.
Hey, Jack. No, that statement was towards me. It was not towards you. That was what I learned through life.
Thank you,
That
Chuck.
because after I turned my life around, I thought I had found the answer, and I was trying to fix people, to change people, trying to force God upon them, and all I did was run them away from me. So I had to realize that, okay, I'm not God. Let me back up and regroup and let me show by example. And that's how I have to do it for
Mm-hmm.
people to, for, I'm not talking about anything about you. I'm talking about me.
I know.
That's just, that's just how it worked out in my life.
I know. And it brought us to here, to today.
And I did come in peace.
So you say. I don't deny that. I
Well,
just
you made it sound like I was making a dig at you in chat, and I just wanted to clear that up. I was
All right.
not.
Okay. So it was a break from the past patterns. Sorry, I didn't recognize that it was a change of the past. Thank you,
Well,
Chuck.
I put a
Clarifying.
quote in earlier. I was hoping you seen it. I don't know if you did, from the Bible that I've been really trying to practice here lately. From oh, I I can put it back in there if you can't see it.
I'm looking.
Jack,
Mm-hmm.
you know sometimes, right, when things seem to be out of our control, out of our reach, right? The best thing to do sometimes is just fall back when it gravitates to you, when it seems like it's coming back to you. And I feel like maybe with the family situation you got going on, I feel like maybe you should let it just take its course, just maybe fall back from it for a little while. And hopefully, like you said, you've been praying, maybe your prayers will get answered. Keep faith in your prayers.
It's been 6 years. I've done that.
Jack, I destroyed my family. I know what you're talking about. I know
Well,
what you're
Chuck,
feeling.
right. You keep saying you know, and the difference is you made a lot of assumptions about me.
Well, I have
And
empathy.
well, Chuck, yep, well, you have pity. I don't
No, empathy.
okay.
There's a difference.
All right.
Compassion.
Well, no, compassion in my definition and understanding, compassion is where we actually bring forth solutions. And what I keep getting from many people is do nothing.
Do
Do
nothing.
nothing, Jack. Just wait for others. But see, Chuck, I didn't hurt anyone. Okay? The unforgiveness, the bitterness from my ex-wife that was passed down to my son, she broke. She was in the wrong, denying me time with my son according to every bit of agreements that we had. But this is my life. God allowed me to experience how fucked up every system in this nation actually is. And my again, please let me not exaggerate. My experience, I've been blessed. My lessons have been mostly painless. There's many people who have it a lot worse than me, who've experienced a lot worse than me. But my experience opened my eyes to the fact that there are millions of innocent men and women in jails here in America. There is clear corruption in our court systems, in our healthcare systems. There's clear corruption in our government systems. So it seems the corruption gets to continue because everyone's idea is, well, just wait, just pray.
You kind of lost me there.
I know.
You went from your family to the world.
Yep. Do you have any questions? How those are connected? There's not really a separation between my family and the world. It's all part of one world.
Well,
My family.
I heard a lot of blame at the beginning toward your
What
ex.
words did you hear blame with? Because see, your
Well,
descriptions aren't necessarily helpful if you don't have what you mean.
well, I'm trying to reach to the solution, because
Hmm.
you said it's her fault that your son and her will not talk to you and they're behaving the way they are. It's her fault, is what you said.
Well, Chuck, if you did
She might not be the best person on earth. My
right.
God, pray for her. She might
Mhm.
change. God
Yeah.
might reach out and touch her.
Okay. Thanks, Chuck.
Jack, I'm
So
coming at you on a simple level. I'm not trying to complicate. I'm not
I
trying to
know, Chuck, but
argue.
hello, Chuck, you think you have answers and you already admitted your confusion. You don't understand, yet you think you're in a place to tell me how I should deal with it. Now, if you want to
I
better understand, then I might respect what you have to offer.
Okay,
But
I'm
so
listening.
far,
I'll shut up and listen.
well, I've explained it and you chose to find blame and you didn't really listen to what I was saying. So, Chuck, let me ask this a different way because you found me blaming the facts. I was explaining facts, not blaming. But let me ask you this. A healthy mother, does a healthy mother turn a teenage son against his father?
That's her problem.
It's my son's problem, Chuck. I care deeply about my son.
Was he with you when he left? If that makes sense, or was he with her when you quit seeing
When
him?
when he was 15, that was about the last time I got to see him. The parenting agreement was 50-50 custodial. We were
Mm-hmm.
supposed to share the time, but as he grew and she moved off to a different school district, uh, instead of being an every other week dad, well, and my job got in the way quite a bit.
I can
So
relate.
instead of being an every other week dad in the school year, I became an every other weekend dad.
Twice a month,
So,
yeah.
yeah. And so the separation had been the separations had been growing for at least the past year. But
Has
well, that
he said anything? I'm talking about back then on why he wanted nothing to do with you or why he quit communicating. Did he give you
yes,
any clue?
yes, Chuck. He imagined a lie and he told his mother, who didn't ask me any questions, ran with that lie, and then convicted me. I've been saying since before you met me, Chuck, my life has been so far unexplained because people involved in my life haven't explained themselves. I have been wrongfully accused, misunderstood. The result of other people's choices is what separated me from my family, from my career. I didn't make those choices, Chuck.
I know you didn't.
But you've been blaming me for the
I No,
situation and for my honest explanations. I mean, just here today, Chuck, when I was describing what happened, you said I'm blaming. Well, how do I describe the burden of responsibility adequately and accurately without you convicting me of blame?
well, you started off with saying it's her fault. It's her
I
fault.
didn't say fault. That's something you added.
I'll have to go back and rewatch, but I thought that's what you said. So
Okay,
what was the great lie that brought Jack Talcott down?
as I understand, it was a lie from before I stopped drinking. See, at the very end of my drinking, when I was desperate to get into detox, I didn't know how to get help. There was one night my son was with me and I was drunk and he was downstairs and I came downstairs and said, "Hey, I'll be back in a little bit. You're all right, right?" He says, "Yeah." I drove myself to the ER. Makes no sense, but I was out of my mind and I was
I
desperate for help.
I can relate. I can relate.
Well, that night, my son got into his imagination, and I didn't pay close enough attention I didn't realize the extent of how far that one thought could go. But after that happened, a few weeks later or a while later, he shared with me that he was afraid that night. He was afraid that I
Afraid.
was he was afraid that I was leaving the house for some reason to go cause harm to his mother. I hadn't even mentioned his mother that night. So I didn't really think much of his thought. And I said, no, son, I'm sorry you felt that way. I explained to him, look, I'm sorry. I'm sick. I'm trying to find help. You know, he knew my drinking wasn't good. I thought he understood. And then after that, I went through detox. I went through my amends. I reached out and humbled myself genuinely to his mother, to his stepfather. I reached out for peace. We started having conversations. And then, Chuck, I found God. And once I found God in my life, the more I tried to align myself with God, the less people cared to understand me, the less they wanted to accept me.
What was you did you constantly speak of God, or were you trying to force God
No, Chuck.
upon them?
No, Chuck. It
Just a
is
simple question.
right. It's circumstantial. I wasn't, preaching and all that shit. This was circumstantial. At the very beginning, I wasn't even turned to God. I was just excited about self-development and becoming a better, more conscious man.
Mm-hmm. Well, something along the way. What happened along the way? Something
Chuck,
happened.
I've answered your questions. What are you trying to understand? Are you trying to understand your confusion or me?
Okay, maybe my confusion. You said I found God, then things went to hell. There has to be something in there that caused that, whether it be them
Chuck,
or
hello,
you.
Chuck.
Yeah, I'm
Could it
listening.
be God?
No,
Could it be God's will that I be separated from my family and the modern ways of the world, like I've said?
I don't
Could
believe
it
that
be?
of God.
Okay, well then, Chuck, you don't believe me, and you don't believe my honest testimony. And this is why you and I have had so many disagreements, because your lack of trust, your confusion, and your unwillingness to accept what I'm saying.
Let's not blame people.
I'm trying to understand,
What is
but yet
true, Browns boy? What is true?
I don't want to blame anybody.
You're not helping.
I'm also not hurting.
I don't need people to not hurt me.
I had a good conversation with him the other day, which surprised me. With Brown's boy, he is rather can get deep and listening and observing. I discovered that the other day because for a long time I thought he was just a troll. But then my perception changed when we had a good conversation. And I'm not trying to stick up for him. He's his own man. He can speak for himself. I'm not going to try to excuse whatever you think he's trying to do. And I'm not trying to do anything other than honestly trying to understand. Because you said at the beginning or somewhere towards the beginning that something has to change. Something's not right. I'm not in the right direction. Nobody understands me. So I'm just trying to clear my mind to maybe understand a little bit better.
What do you want to know to overcome your confusion? Because I know fully who I am. I've explained myself repeatedly. Your lack of acceptance is not my problem, Chuck. So I'm sitting here and I've been listening to you talk about yourself.
Well, that way I don't talk about you. I'm talking about me. I leave
Hey,
you
Chuck,
alone.
I know, Chuck, but do you think I share my time and do the stuff for the live stream so Chuck can talk about Chuck here in front of me?
Well, you told me not to talk about you in the past. Therefore, respecting what you asked of me.
You think you're respecting what I asked of you, but you're not aware of the real present moment or the purpose that I've said.
Because I would love, love nothing more to see you reunited. Because I
Great.
was
We'll
there.
pray for it then, Chuck, because that's about all Americans want to offer. You know, I appreciate the sentiments, Chuck, but to be honest, empty words, they are only helping you. Okay. I mean, no offense, but my purpose here on these platforms, brothers and sisters, is not, it really is to try and make a better world. A better world for you, a better world for me. And I know that we can all do better, including me. But part of being me, brothers and sisters, here, there was a question, there's more doubts about what I said that I wanted to. Someone said that, well, yes, I do know this. God solves all problems. Sit back and watch him do his amazing work, Jack. Absolution via suffering. That's what I'm learning, but holy cows, man. I have been praying for something to change. I've been changing myself. For myself, I found the greatest change by devoting myself to growth, to love, to learning. The growth, the love, the learning, my love for the truth, it brought me into what I consider to be a very personal, intimate relationship with God. It's hard to remember that this is God's plan. I mean, it's not hard, it takes practice. I'm still practicing that. But even though this is God's plan, I know that God has trusted me to figure out what to do. And what I have chosen to do for these live streams is seriously to try and share some ideas on growth, growing in your own wisdom, growing in your own confidence, growing in your own capacity to know love. Love, man, it is the miracle. It is the miracle that we all want, we all deserve. Love is the light of God. And I'm seeing on the top there, rest in God's love. It is a reminder for me to rest in God's love. I've been growing in my patience. I've been focused on growing my kindness. All of these good things that we all want to embody. Well, here, the end of that one is for sure. Love does not delight in evil. There's been so many people, it seems, excited and happy to know. I mean, like, yes, I won't go into the past. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with what is true. It always protects. It always trusts. Love trusts. Love hopes. Love perseveres. If we want to change our life, it's going to come down to our motivation. What is the motivation? What is the reason we want to change? What is the reason we want to overcome our doubts? I'll tell you the reason you want to overcome your doubts, because a greater life is waiting. A greater life, greater self-worth is found beyond the doubts. And when you make yourself push beyond your discomfort, push beyond your fears with a determination that you can overcome those challenges in your path, that is exactly where the self-worth grows. Our self-worth diminishes with these ideas of I can't, they can't, they shouldn't, I shouldn't. These limiting thoughts that the world has become so accustomed to accepting and sharing, not only within ourselves, but with each other. Brothers and sisters, you can If you can trust me, that's your choice. And there's plenty who have not found the reason to trust me. But if you can trust me, you can. You can overcome. You can overcome your doubts. You can overcome your fears. You can reinvent yourself today if you want, if you choose. And for those who may choose with the idea to reinvent themselves or to grow in their desire, wanting to have a goal that's bigger than them for the purposes of accomplishing more in your life. If anyone's interested in joining the peace movement, joining to help create a better world for everyone, including the people that don't support you, right? The people that you don't know. The American way is look out for your own. That's selfish. If you want to be truly selfish, go all the way. Go all the way. Become one with the divine creator, the force of love and truth that is the power that brings forth life. I pray to unite more with that God. God is true. You are you. Align you with what is true, not with what you think is true, but with what is true. And if you humble yourself to what is true, God is the truth within you. God is the truth around you. God is the truth you can know. Anything else is a deception. It's pretty simple when you understand and you humble yourself to duality. You get two choices. You're either going to be right or you're going to be wrong. But one way or another, the course of life will reveal the perfect solutions when it goes through. I mean, because what was, what is, and what will be, will be. But I truly trust and believe, brothers and sisters, you and me and everyone we know who's breathing and conscious, alive today, we are living through an amazing, incredible, exciting time of history with so many potentials, so many possibilities of what the future could bring. Brothers and sisters, align yourself with love. A love for the truth will free you, but seek carefully, because we live in an age right now where lies, they make profits. Lies and the confusion spread fear. We can overcome this together, though. And I'm pretty sure that's what God's message is for us to do, is to unite. Unite together individually to become whole with the present, humbling ourselves in the present to the presence of God, the wisdom of God, the power of God, the perfection of God that is right now. Become a part of that. Become a part of now and embrace your part of now right here and today, so that you can claim your part in the future that you want to create, with aligning yourself with God's goodness, becoming the goodness and the blessings wherever you go. That's the point I want to get across. If you're honest about your efforts and your intentions to do good and to be a blessing, not for yourself, but for others, if you take your heart and move your care into the heart of another one, that is what love is about. And that, my brothers and sisters, that love of unity and connection, that is what is going to free mankind from the past patterns of wars, conflicts, oppression, censorship, and wage slavery. Brothers and sisters, join with me. I'm pretty sure God wants us to claim our freedom, and it is the truth that shall set you free. The truth frees us from deception, from confusion. Let's join together, overcome the corruption that wealth and authority have been instigating. Let's bring forth the true prosperity of this land and share it with the rest of the world before we're done. With that, I'm going to be done for now, here and today. Brothers and sisters, sincerely, all of you who joined, even those who received my rudeness, my abruptness, my callousness. For those who joined the panel, joined the chat, joined along sincerely, I want to thank you. Thank you all. And with the love of God and the grace of God, maybe we can reunite again together. Until that time, thank you again. Brothers and sisters, choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. God bless you. God bless us all. Peace.